Hello, my name is Paul Cefalù, and I am the author of App Creator Pro, an iPhone application that is available on the iStore today. App Creator is an iPhone application that allows anyone to create impressive iPhone applications without the use of a PC or a Mac. You don't need to know iOS, and you don't need to know anything about Objective-C. All the programming and development is performed right on the iPhone, and the applications are for personal use. So let's see. The tutorial today is going to show you how to do how to take advantage of the toolbar buttons and how to work with multiple forms and how to transition between the forms. And the tutorial will show you how easy App Creator Pro makes this process. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what's known as a utility app. A utility app is typically an application that has at least two forms. The first form is the actual physical display form where the application runs and you see it go through its paces. The other form is typically for configuration, setup, and so forth to get parameters into the application. So if you have a graphing program, the main page will show the graph being drawn. The other form will show parameters that you need to enter to make the graph. Okay? So what we're going to do is that we're going to start off with our Hello World program, and we're going to make the Hello World program a utility app. Now we can use let's run App Creator. Okay, if we go to our Create Edit Projects, you'll see that one of the templates is a utility application. Now we could use this directly, but the idea is the exercise, and this was created using the basic application and the commands we're going to tell you now in this tutorial. All right, so you'll notice that you have the examples, the projects, the sandbox. So if we go to the sandbox, okay, we'll see Hello World demo that we did in the previous program. So let's go to there. All right, so now we're in the Hello World program in the sandbox. Now, we could start editing this program directly and make it a utility program. But let's just say we want to keep Hello program the way it is, Hello World the way it is, and create a second program called Hello World Utility instead of Hello World Demo. All right? So what we need to do is right now it's in the sandbox. So if we save our Hello World demo by selecting Save, you'll see now that it's saved it and we've left the sandbox, and you'll see that there's nothing in the sandbox now. Okay? But if you go to the Projects tab, you'll see that Hello World demo is now part of the projects. All right? What this means is that we could use this project as a template to start a new application. All right, and that's how we can build off of existing applications that we've created. So let's select Hello World Demo. We want to create as new. Okay, and as you can see, it named it new project number 4. But it is the Hello World project. It has the display, has all the information. So we want to change this to, we want to go to the project info, and we want to change the name. Okay, let's clear it. And we want to change the name to Hello World Hello World Utility. Okay, Hello World Utility. So we'll press Done. And now the name is called Hello World Utility. And let's change the icon so that it's different from the Hello World icon. And let's choose, let's see, we want something with the world, but we want it to be different. I believe we have an icon that we could use for that. It's the Earth with a hammer. There it is. All right, we can use this here. All right, so this is our Hello World utility app. We'll say done. Okay, so this is our icon. And so now the rest of the information is all set. It's still the Hello World program, how it always worked. Okay, nothing's changed because we're starting from the Hello World program as a template. Okay? So now we've created that. We've updated the project information. As you can see, it says Hello World Utility. Now let's go to the display. All right, and you'll see that there's the main form. All right, now we have the one form here. Now, because it's a utility application, we need a second form. And the way we create the second form is we come down and say Add. We say we want to add it from the App Creator template library. All right. Currently, the only form type that's in the library is basic form. As time goes on, there'll be other forms that will be added to give you more capability and features. So let's select the basic form, and you'll see that it's checked, and we'll say done. Okay, and now it's imported here. So we want to come to here, and we want to go to the form attributes because we want to change the name of that form so that it's something meaningful to us. Okay, so let's go to the name of the forms. Let's clear that, and let's call it no, didn't want the capital F. Okay, there we go. Form, and let's call it setup. Okay, so this is the setup form. Okay, form setup form. All right, so we'll say done. Okay, let's come here. And so now we have the form set up, and we need to at least say something in the description because we have the default description. Okay, so the default description, what we want to do is we want to say that this form is the setup form for the application. Okay, form for the application. All right, and that's the description. We'll say done. So we have all of that. We can keep the background color the way it is. It's fine. We want to put some sort of wallpaper, a watermark of some kind that tells us that we're in the setup section rather than the actual application section. So let's press the I. Let's go and enable the opacity, and you'll see that here's a globe, but I'm sort of looking for a different image. And let's say something that shows it is setup. So typically, the type of image that's used is anything to do with like this with maintenance, where you have tools in a box, or the most common one that's used is this one here with a screwdriver and a wrench. Okay, so let's pick that one. Let's come to the attributes and let's make this aspect fit. Okay, and then let's give this 30% opacity. Let's make it 20. Okay, because we don't want it to 15. We don't want it to. Now this value is based on how intense the graphics is. All right, so we've just created the default wallpaper. We made it look like a watermark so that it doesn't interfere with our data. All right, so as you can see, it's aspect fit. It's 300 by 400, and the opacity is 15. But this is an issue that has to be fixed. Essentially, the problem is that the field isn't wide enough, and what's happening is that it's getting clipped. Okay, this was something that got introduced in the new simulator, but if you run this on the iPhone itself, it works correctly. You'll see it. So there's an adjustment I need to make, and you'll see that in the coming updates. All right, so we've put that there, and at this point we won't put any controls on. Okay, and now remember we said that there was a toolbar that we were going to program so that when you press the toolbar, you can go from the main form to the setup form, and then from the setup form back to the main form when you need to. So in the setup form, we don't really need an advisory status, okay, but we do need the toolbar. All right, we want it to work in a momentary operation, and we'll make it the farthest right button. So what we'll do is we'll select button D, which is on the far right. Okay, and we'll enable that button. As you can see here, it's enabled. Normally it would be disabled, but we'll enable it. And we want to add some text so that the button has a name, and we'll call that done. Because this is the settings screen, you want to say that you're done, and you want to return back to the application. So we'll just say done. All right, we'll say accept. Now the button will say done. And now we need to add code to the button so that when the button is pressed, a script is executed. So let's go to code. Now you notice there's no listing, so we need to add our first line of code. Now what we're going to be modifying is a property of the form, and that property is the show property, and it's the way to display, how to have the app creator display the form for you. So we'll go to the assignment statement. All right, we'll go to set to. This is the left-hand side of the assignment statement. We want a form attribute. We want the form attribute for form setup. As you see, there's setup form and main form are the two forms that are available to you. So we want the setup form. And now we want to go to where it says show effect. Okay? And we select show effect. And now you'll see the form name is here, the attribute is show effect, and now we have to tell it what the effect is that we want to use as the transition. Do we want to flip to the left, flip to the right, curl up, curl down, fade in left, fade, slide in right, slide down, slide up, fade in, or instantaneous. All right, so let's go to the get from. And now what we need to do is, this is a particular value that we're going to set on the form attribute of show effect. We're not getting it from a view, we're not getting this information from a variable, and we're not getting it from a widget attribute. We're assigning it a discrete value, and that would be a constant value. So we'll select constant value. And now App Creator knows that this is a show event, and it gives you the different types of events, the effects that you could use to display that form. So to get to the form, we're flipping the form to the left. So if we want to come back, we want to flip the form to the right. So let's select flip to the right. So now it will flip to the right. All right, and we're done with that effect. So we say done. All right, and we just save. And now we have the effect is here. Okay, so we say done. We leave the function. And now you'll see that the code is assigned, and we're done with this. So this button now is done. Now you notice that button A, B, and C are enabled. We want those disabled. So let's disable those buttons. Okay. All right, so now those buttons are disabled, and you'll see the done button. That's the only one that's active. All right, so we're done. We're done with the setup form for now. So now we need to we're done. So now we got to go back to our list of forms, and on the main form, we have to update the toolbar property with the command so that it goes to the settings button when we press the far right button for setup. All right, so again, it's a form attribute. Okay, the name main form is fine. We need to give it a description so we know what the form is. Okay. This is the main. This is the main viewer. Form for the application. Okay. All right, so let's say done. So now we have the description. And our aspect fit is the hello world. As you can see here, is the hello world program. And all right, and it has the one controller label. This is the hello world program that we had from before. So now what we want is, we want an advisory status on this one. We want to enable the toolbar. And we want to have D as the far right to say setup. So we'll enable it. Okay, we'll use the text. We'll clear that, and we'll say setup. All right, we'll say accept. So now the button will say setup, as you can see here. We'll add the code to take it to the next page. So we have to do the same exact thing that we did for the setup form. The only difference is we're going to the setup form instead of coming back to the main form. So we want to do an assign statement. Set to, we want to set the form attribute. This time it's main form. We want to do the show effect attribute. Then we say get from. Remember, it's a constant value we want to set it to. And this time we want to flip left. Okay? So we say done. We say save. And there you have the command. We say done again. We leave. All right, and we've set up the setup button. Okay, and if we check the other buttons, you'll see that they're disabled, which is what we want them to be. All right, and so that's it for the main form. Okay, so let's say edit. Let's leave, and now we want to actually run this and see what it does. So we want to go back. So now we're at the application development editor, and we'll say play. You'll see it says Hello World Utility. It's loading with the new picture. Here's Hello World. You notice at the bottom there's the word setup. So this is, remember, this is still the Hello World program where if we click it, tap it once, it says Hello World. Double tap, it goes away. Now we'll go to setup, and you'll see that the form flips to the left. Okay, and all right, let's see what we did wrong. Oh, I know what we did wrong. We wanted to go to the settings, the setup form, not the main form. Okay, so we'll leave the application. We'll go to displays. We'll go to the main form. We'll go to form attributes. All right, and then we'll go to the toolbar. We'll say setup, and we'll say code available, and we'll modify it by just clicking on it. Now see, it says main form. This says it's going to display the main form. We don't want it to display the main form. We want it to display the setup form. All right, so this is where I made the mistake. So let's say setting 2. Let's say form attribute. Let's say setup form. All right, and it's show effect. Okay. So now we'll say done. We'll say save. We'll say done again. All right. Done once more. And now we'll get back to the application development editor. We'll say play. Okay, so now you see the setup at the bottom. We press setup. It switches to the setup form. As you can see, there's the watermark. There's the done button down at the bottom. And when we select done, it flips to the, okay. If you notice, we made the same mistake on the setup form as we did with the main form. All right. Like I say, if it works right the first time, you most likely did something wrong. All right, so let's go to the display. We want to go to the settings form, the setup form, I mean. We want to go to form attributes. We want to go to the toolbar button. Okay, we want to go to the code. We want to edit the code by clicking it. And we want to display the main form, not the setup form. So we say modify. Okay, we say set to. We know this is the form attribute. We want to do the main form is the one we want to go to. The attribute is show effect. And the show effect would be flipped to the right. Okay, so we're done. We'll say save. As you can see how easy it is to make modifications, to go back and forth without knowing any Objective-C, without knowing iOS or any sort of programming. App Creator does a lot of the work for you. And it is very versatile. All you have to do is just know how to organize your thoughts. Okay, so we say done. All right, we need to get back to the application development editor. So now we say play. All right, we say setup. Turns to the left, shows the setup form with the watermark for setup. We say done. Takes you back to the main form. Okay. See how easy? And this is very impressive. You know, it looks like anything that a software developer would create. And you did it with a few clicks. Right. And the program still works. Hello world, double click, and it goes away. All right. And there you go. That's the end of the tutorial. So App Creator Pro. It makes your iPhone an extension of your imagination. Catch you next time on the next tutorial. Bye.